Welcome back, folks, to another rebuild, and of course the main talking point over this last season is how poorly Manchester United have been over the course of the season. More importantly, finishing their lowest position ever in the Premiership since it started, 15th position, only that high because we won on the final day, beating Aston Villa 2-0, which controversial in itself, but poor all the same. And not long ago, seeing Spurs lift the Europa League as well. We bottled that against the bottle jobs. So all in all, it is a season to forget. So we're going to take him over for the next 5 seasons or so until we win the European Cup, put him back on the pinnacle of European football, and with a catch. We will be accepting every transfer offer in the summer window. We won't be allowed to sign anybody. We won't be able to do that until January window, where we can sign players. So the first window, or the summer one as you will, we will be accepting every transfer going, and come January we will be able to spend that money and bring players in. So hopefully not too many players will go in the first half of the season to allow us to stay in our job and sign the players we need in January. We know all about the history. They've got a massive... We don't need to go through all of this. It seems like we've been doing a rebuild of Manchester United for quite a while. It seems to be every week somebody somewhere is doing a rebuild. So yeah, predicted 5th. That was never ever going to happen, was it really? We won't be adopting this formation. I'm sorry, Amarin. I do support you in everything you're doing. I like the formation, but it's not a formation I'm particularly comfortable with or play. So we will be changing that to what I'm used to United playing, and that was a 4-2-4 back in the 80s and 90s, where we were just too dominant in that formation role. But I think that could work for us in the future. But for me now, we won't be using it. So first off, let's have a quick look at the finances. I mean, they are in a deep doo-doo. And yeah, it's very poor. £607 million bank loans remaining. 725 net debt and 155 million in transfer debt, which is probably doubled now. I think it's quite a lot that United are owing, so we need to try and rescue these sort of debts. But first of all, we do need to put them back at the top where they belong. So looking at the squad, I mean, there is a lot of players I would like to get rid of. We've got Onana and Bayende. I like Bayende, but he hasn't had the chances because of Onana, and I think he should have had more chances than Onana of recent form. So either way, both goalkeepers need to go. Johnny Evans, he should be retiring, leaving on a free transfer. Wow, he's still going to be playing. That's amazing. Harry Maguire, probably a player that we probably need to move on, but I'm not adverse to keeping him, or if nobody wants him, we'll have no choice. De Ligt, I would keep. Lindelof to go. Martinez to keep. I would like to sell Shaw. Mazraoui we would like to keep. Malacia we would like to let go. He's currently on loan. Delo, probably more inclined to keep him as a backup, really. Casemiro, he has to go, but again, if nobody wants, we won't have a problem keeping him. Ericsson, again, another player. He is wanted by Chelsea on loan though, but we're not accepting loan deals. We are accepting transfers only. So there's another thing to consider as well. Ugarte to keep. Maino keep. Anthony, I wouldn't mind bringing him back. We could use somebody in that right wing position apart from Diallo as well. Bruno, probably keep, but if somebody City comes in with a massive amount of money, then yeah, we would have to let him go. Mount, again, probably keep. Sancho, definitely not, causes lots of fracas in the changing rooms. Diallo, keep. Garnacho, I would like to keep because his potential is very, very high. Rashford, again, I think he's another one of them players, same with Sancho, and just not really performed. He has performed elsewhere. Villa, he's done really, really well. Just doesn't suit Manchester United, apparently. Højlund, I'm on the fence with. He's not done very well at all this season, but then again, he hasn't had the service, so what do you do? And same with Xerxes as well, although I don't see him as a striker. But 2 young strikers up top, they could help each other out with a 4-2-4. That could potentially work for us, but again, if anybody comes for any of these players, we will have to let them go. If we have a look at our under 21s, we go by ability first. And we have got Daniel Gore, DM midfielder. We could use him, but probably not ready. He's 19 years old. Lenny Yoro, he should be in our first team. So we'll have to go through all these as well. So Lenny Yoro, I definitely would put him into the first team because he will be a player we'll be using a lot. Dangor, let's stick him into the first team. Why not? We could use as many players as we can. Amas, 17 years old. He has played a few games this season. Patrick Dorgu as well. He should be in the first team. Again, Heaven, he's played really well, but to me, he's not ready yet. Give him a year or two, then maybe yes. Tom Heaton, I mean, he shouldn't even be there really, should he? In the first team, probably let him go as well. Although quite handy to have as a backup. Decent goalkeeper, lots of experience. Collier as well, 20 years old. Very poor, isn't it, really? We could stick him in. If anybody comes out for him on loan, then we're likely to let the youngsters go on loan. But first team is probably let him go. But we'll see what happens unless I specifically put him out on loan. Anybody else that is here that shouldn't be here? I think that is about it. What about our under 18s? We got Ibrahimov. Okay, still fairly young. We'll see what that takes us. So after all of that in the window, we only lose one player in the end. Casemiro has gone to Saudi Arabia for up to £70 million. We do make a tidy profit on him. We've got 62 already off them. Just another 8 million to go with costs and add-ons and what have you. But yeah, 70 million in total, 62 so far. We are using a 4-2-4 formation, and we're using one that I have used previously with Gothenburg. And I'd like to see United use it once again because they were just far too superior, I think, with that formation. Or we drop one into midfield like that. Bring in one like that for Bruno maybe, but we'll see how it goes. But we are locking two players in, Dorgu and Yoro, because they disappear when we pick our best 11. Mount, Xerxes, Collier, and I think Martinez as well. They're currently injured, but not out for too long, thankfully. We have started off not too bad. We did get smashed by City in the Community Shield 5-2, so that's a disappointment. But although Højlund did score 2 goals. 2 late goals, a late rally at 5-0 down. We beat Brighton 2-1, beat Palace 4-1, and we somehow lost to Southampton with De Ligt scoring our goal, and we were ahead in that game, and we lost to a 96th minute penalty, which is just United all over, isn't it? So currently we are lying in 9th position, which isn't too bad. And we've got Rangers, Ludogorets and PAO in the Europa League. Let's simulate this first half of the season. We'll be back after the January transfer window and we'll see what we've done before we go ahead and simulate the rest. So the January window has come and gone, and we have done what Manchester United have not been able to do. We've got the signature of Victor Gyökeres, 55 million from Sporting. An absolutely excellent striker. They should have got him a lot earlier than what, instead of messing around, should we say. Understandably, he wanted to wait to see what the outcome of the European football was like going to be next season. And yeah, I don't blame him, to be fair, but United should have got this deal done a lot sooner. But we have done this in the January, £55 million. 3 goals to his name already in 3 games. A decent return already. And just looking at his stats, you can see why there's a lot of teams out there that want his signature. And also from Atalanta, £6 million from Marco Conisecchi, goalkeeper. He will be eventually our number 2, providing we can get our number 1 target, really. And I think that's going to be Diogo Costa. I think he's an absolute excellent goalkeeper, providing also we can offload our other goalkeepers. That's going to be the main issue at the moment, but he's going to come in, 24 years old, better than Bayenda, I think, anyway, and even better than Onana as well. So I think we're going to lock him in to the end of this season, see how he goes, but hopefully next season we'll be able to offload some of the other goalkeepers and bring in our number 1 target. So far, so good. 4th position after 23 games. That is absolutely amazing, although we are 10 points off the leaders, Man City. We are in the 5th round of the FA Cup, the knockout round of the Europa League, and we're in the final of the Carabao to play Liverpool in that one as well. So fighting on all 4 fronts currently. So let's not stand on any more ceremony. Let's get this season 1 finished. And then we'll come back. Fingers crossed we'll have some silverware to cheer about. In December we had a cracking 2-0 victory over Liverpool just before the window, with Mason Mount netting the second in a 2-0 victory. Not long after signing Gyökeres, he scored the 3rd goal in a 3-0 demolition of Forest. Ugarte even scored the opener in a 2-1 victory over rivals Arsenal in the top of the table clash, which is a fantastic effort. And April sees us beat Man City 2-1 with Garnacho netting the second and all-important goal in a fine victory. Overall, second position and a Champions League spot, so not at all that difficult in the end, was it? Just a change of formation, different players, and obviously a known striker as well, all but helps. But 4 points in the end off Man City. They were 10 points ahead of us at the beginning with 7 losses, which isn't too bad either, which is really good. 23 victories. We can only improve on this as well, provided we can keep some of the players, or the better players, should I say. But I'm really, really happy with that. Haaland, 24 goals. None of our players are up there, but Gyökeres gets the best player in the league, considering he only was in there for the second half. But the cup competitions, it has to be said, we fell rather flat. The Carabao Cup, we lost to Liverpool, I think it was in the end, 3-1. Disappointing, not going to lie. I would have expected some sort of trophy. The FA Cup, we got as far as the quarterfinals, losing to Aston Villa 2-0 with Liverpool, Bournemouth and Arsenal all going through. And it's Arsenal that beats Liverpool to that cup. And the Europa League got knocked out by Atletico Madrid in the knockout playoffs. So again, another disappointing effort in Europe. We didn't get to the final this time, but we lost 2-1 despite winning the second leg 1-0. If we just have a look at the group stage, we might have come second in that. We did, behind Panathinaikos. We lost 2 games, both to Panathinaikos. How rude. We go through all the same, but yeah, disappointing not to go any further. The eventual winners of that was Spurs. Well done to them again. Our squad, however, after locking Konasechi in, he's looked okay. 30 goals in 25. You can't ask for more than that. Onana, in the end, he played the first 28 games and conceded 41, which is slightly worse. And Bainde, he's conceded 5 and 5, which isn't too bad at all, I guess. But we're looking to move them sort of goalkeepers on in the end. But goals, 26 goals for Højlund, which isn't a bad return. Fernandez, 18 and 11. Garnacho, 17-15, which is pretty good. Gyökeres, 17 and 8. Not bad at all, almost catching up with Højlund and playing half the games. Xerxes, 13 and 4, 13 and 7 for Mount. He did pretty well in the end, actually. He's only 26 years old, remember. I'm quite keen to hang on to some of these players, being how old they are. Delit, 12 and 5, which is pretty good. Ugarte, 6 and 5, excellent. Dorgu, 14 assists after locking him in, which is excellent. Yoro, 3 goals in his 53 games. And Konasechi, like I said, 13 25. So now it all remains is to hang on tight for the window and see which players we have to let go, as we have to accept any offers for any players that come in. Right then, transfers out. The joy of seeing your squad diminish rapidly. So first of all, Bayende has gone. He's gone to Al Ain for up to £6.5 million. Not an awful lot, but then again, he won't get any game time as our number 2. But we do lose £130 million on top of that, as we sell Sancho to Chelsea for £25 million. We've also lost Bruno. He's gone to Saudi Arabia up to £80 million. Rashford's gone to Villa, and a couple of other youngsters as well. So 130 added to the coffers. And on top of that, we almost lost Onana as well. Not that I will be sorry to see him go, but there were a couple of loan deals which I rejected full on. We want full sales. We don't want loans at this point. So that brings our budget up to £209 million for the January window, and up to £2 million a week in wages as well, which we probably won't end up spending that. So our squad looks very much like this. So we have got Konasechi in goal, with Maguire still here, Luke Shaw still here. I mean, they look pretty good. I mean, if they can do a job for us, I mean, 74 million is an awful lot, which I would like to have that money as in sales, but nobody's biting at the moment. Malacia is still here, good backup, I guess. Delo. We've also got, that is about it really as far as players. Really. Mount Anthony's here as well. He's played a game off the bench as well. Garnacho's playing. Yeah, quite a lot of things happening. Højlund has got more goals than Gyökeres this season so far. So There's a turnaround for the Bucks. We're still staying with the same formation, but we're just locking in our goalkeeper. Friendlies weren't too bad. We did lose to Bayern in one of them, but we started off against Arsenal. We got absolute pummeled, of which our goalkeeper took an injury, so that wasn't great. So I'm not sure who went in goal after that. Whether we had an honour on the bench or not, I don't know. We beat Hull 1-0. Rasmus Højlund on 46 minutes. Fulham we beat 3-1. Gyökeres and Højlund again. And Liverpool, we managed a 2-1 victory despite going a goal behind and a player sent off. So that's an improvement as well, isn't it? And also, we're in the Champions League. I forgot about that. Barcelona, Sporting, Sturm Graz, Rennes, Atletico Madrid, AC Milan, Alves and Galatasaray. We are lying 7th in the table so far after the 3 wins and 1 loss. There's only Palace and West Ham are unbeaten. There's something you don't see every day. We are predicted around about 8th in the table for the Champions League, so we're looking to qualify straight off the bat to the round of 16. We've got Burton in the next round of Carabao. And out of interest, we are predicted 6th in the table predictions, 18-1 now to win the league. So let's jump into season 2. Let's make our way to January so we can start on the transfers in. So we've finally gone and done it in the window. We have brought in our number 1 target, especially in goal at least. Anyway, Diogo Costa comes in £33 million from Porto. We go to Portugal again, this time to Sporting. £45 million we bring in Diamonde, a defender. We need better players at the back, and 22 years old, he can at least be here for the duration, provided nobody picks him up. But look at them physicals, he's a monster. From Fiorentina, we spend a little bit more, £57 million for Mikel Kayode, a right back. I felt like Mazraoui can do a job for us, but he needs backup. Delo, if he can go in the summer, great stuff. But yeah, we're going to try and bring in some of these class players, which they all wanted to come, and he was asking to leave. So 57 million, I'll take that, and we had plenty of money to spare still. And finally, we only spent £30 million on Miguel Gyökeres from Girona, I think it is. Very, very cheap, very, very good left back, and I think we're going to lock him in because Shaw just pips him to the post if we pick our best 11. So now, if we pick our best 11, we're locking Ahmad in because we haven't brought in a right winger. That will be the next point of call, all depending how well Ahmad does this season, and Gyökeres, we're locking him as well. So if we pick our best 11, Shaw comes into that left back, but we do have Diamonde, Kayode, Costa. Mount comes into that right wing position, and De Ligt has actually moved into the midfield. So there's no Mainu or Mount in there because Mount's playing up there. So I think for the players we've got, at least they are playing apart from our left back, which we are going to stick him in there locked in. And at the halfway point, or January, 23 games, we are lying in 3rd position. Again, we find ourselves 10 points behind the leaders. This time it's Arsenal, but we do have a game in hand. We're not doing too bad in the Champions League, actually. 5 wins, 3 draws. Unbeaten, together with Man City. Of course we are, and PSG in between us. We're in the 5th round of the FA Cup. We're playing Chelsea, and we could find ourselves in the final of the Carabao Cup once again. This time we've taken a massive lead over Coventry, and it's Tottenham who await us in the final after they've demolished Exeter 8-1. So let's simulate to the end of the season now, and let's see this time if we can up the ante in the league, do pretty well in the Champions League is what we're after as well, and see if we can bring home one of the domestic trophies as well. The season really kicked off for us after the window, and it proved the point with a fantastic 2-0 away win at Anfield against Liverpool, with Garnacho netting the 2nd goal. We followed that up with a fantastic 5-1 victory against Spurs at home, with Ahmad crossing in the ball for Gyökeres to score his 2nd of the game. Even more impressive was the 3-1 victory over Chelsea at home, with Gyökeres scoring within the first 60 seconds of the game in a fine 3-1 victory. And he did it again against Everton in a 2-1 away victory, with Ahmad collecting the ball, which looked like a penalty, but the ball was crossed in and another fine header. And Højlund scores the 4th goal in a 4-1 victory over Brighton to finish the season off on a high. Lovely turn, lovely finish. And that, my friends, gives us the title. 2 points clear of Arsenal. We were some way behind them, but obviously the transfers worked. And they drew 11 games. They drew far too many games. and Man City finishing in third position. But 88 points, 2 points clear, 60 goal difference as well. We only lost 6 games. Ironically, 2 of them were against Arsenal. The FA Cup sees us crash out at the quarter-final stage, being absolutely hammered by Man City 4-0, of which they go on to beat Arsenal. So Arsenal pipped at the post yet again, this time on penalties. However, we do win the Carabao Cup. We get to the final yet again, this time demolishing Spurs 4-0 with regard to outside-the-box shot. And the final of the Champions League sees the repeat of the 1999 final, but however, this time there was no comeback, but Bayern Munich winning it 1-0. So overall, we do a domestic double, 2 trophies, the league and the Carabao, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, our runners-up in the Champions League, not quite the ending we would have liked. However, we're only 2 seasons in. We're going to go up to 5 and see how many we can win. But the Champions League, very, very unfortunate in the end. Gyökeres, 11 goals in that as well. So if we have a look at the league phase, we finished 3rd, unbeaten, 5-3 as you saw. PSG in between ourselves and Man City. Round of 16, we demolished Aston Villa 8-3 in the end. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. The quarterfinals, we beat AC Milan 4-2 thanks to a 4-1 second leg victory. The semi-finals sees us beat Barcelona. Wow. Okay, 7-4. That's a 4-0 first leg victory. Unbelievable. And then when we obviously get to play Bayern Munich, who played Real Madrid and beat them on penalties. And our squad, 44 goals for Gyökeres. Absolutely phenomenal. 28 years old now. Hopefully he'll last the duration. Højlund, only 23, looking pretty good. 34 goals this season. I don't see any change for our strikers at the minute. Garnacho can play up there. He scored 23 and 20. Xerxes, another backup, 12 and 5. 19 assists for Mount with 10 goals. Anthony played 20 games, 9 and 4, which is good. Diallo, 7 and 14, which isn't bad. Would have liked to see that go up a little bit more, so we may end up having to look for a right winger possibly in the January, actually, not the summer. But it all depends whether he stays or goes. 2 and 12 for Luke Shaw, so he's still getting the game time. So we must have had some injuries to Gyökeres though, because we did lock him in at left back. I'm sure we did. 23 games he played, 5 assists. That's not bad. And our goalkeeper Costa, 25 games. Wow, okay. He must have took some injuries or something. 25 conceded. Carnicetti, 30 and 31. I can't complain about our goalkeepers at all. And Onana got to play a couple of games, conceding just 6 from 7. So hopefully we may, offload him this year. But we had to do some contracts before the summer window ended, so we don't lose them out on a free. So hopefully we will get to move them along at some point. But overall, that's not a bad squad we've built. We could still do better, I believe. And we can bring in some more class players. But first of all, we've got to get past the summer window. And hopefully some of these big names do not leave. So the summer window has just passed. And boy, have we been stripped bare almost. Joshua Xerxes has gone to Leipzig for up to £56 million. I mean, that's a good offer. It really is. But very sad to see him go. He was really our backup striker. Mazraoui, he's also gone. He's gone into Milan for up to £52 million. Again, prices we can't really turn down. And of course, we have to accept everything that goes. Onana has gone. Juventus, well, good luck to them. But they are spending up to £38 million on him. So, wow. Dorgu, he's gone. He was potentially our left back. And 19 million to Napoli. Amas has gone to Fulham for 550,000, and then Malacia, he's gone to PSG on a free. Didn't want to sign a new contract, and we had to say goodbye to him in the end. And we almost lost Carnicetti and Harry Maguire as well. On top of that, Harry Maguire up to 2.3 million. Wow, that's a kick in the teeth, isn't it? Really, but he is 33 years old. He rejected his contract. And Carnicetti as well, the same. 19 million he's worth. Well, that's what they offered. How much is he actually worth? Will it tell me? 19.25. So they actually went up to his value. So we could have lost him, but thankfully they decided to stay and give us the backups that we dearly need. But that does mean we have 186 million to spend in January, and quite a bit of wages as well, which we probably may transfer over, because we have lost a fair few players. We are going to be sticking with the same formation. A lot of players going on international duty. But if we pick our best 11, it's not that bad actually, to be fair. De Ligt's still in midfield. We've got Coyote, Diamonde, Shaw at left back still. He's still here. He's knocking out Gutierrez. I want to stick Gutierrez back in there, I think. I do think we're a little bit better with that. But I think either one of them can play there. Garnacho's at left. And we've got Højlund and Gyökeres up front, which I'm very surprised nobody's come in for him yet. And he hasn't got a release clause or anything. Maybe we need to do something about that. And Gyökeres is by far our best player. But we're going to have a little bit of money to definitely improve this side, because we definitely need some more in the midfield. Our back line has taken a bit of a hit as well. We need wingers, especially cover for Garnacho if need be, and probably another striker as well. We did bring up some players up from the youth team like Obi and Dangorze. Collier is still here, and Vitek as well, a young goalkeeper. We brought him in just in case Konisechi left. We needed to get him some game time if need be. But yeah, some youngsters coming in as well. So yeah, it's going to be scary times ahead, especially this first half of the season. Although at the moment I'm not that worried, because we beat Man City to the Charity Shield. We beat them 3-0. Gyökeres and Diallo both scoring, and a Lewis own goal. Would like to get Lewis off them though, to be fair. He is worth quite a lot of money. But 3-0, very happy with that. So trophy number 1 of the season. And the league against Bournemouth, West Ham and Palace, we score 12 goals with 3 against, 3-0, 4-1 and 5-2 respectively. The Champions League, we've got Real Madrid, AC Milan, Barcelona, wow, Celtic, Stuttgart, Juventus, Nice and Red Star Belgrade as well. We are currently lying top of the table, which is a better start than we had in previous seasons, and we're predicted around about 7th in the Champions League table as well. And we've got Aston Villa in the next round of the Carabao, of which we are now holders, and there's confirmation of winning the Community Shield. So just out of interest now, where are we predicted to finish this? Well, we have moved into 4th position, 9-1 now. So we're not that far behind City, but we've got Arsenal, Newcastle 8-1. Wow, goodness me. And Højlund is in the Dream 11. Coyote's in there as well. Goodness me, it'd be nice to have some of these players in here, but they'd be quickly snapped up, wouldn't they, in the summer? But they would bring an awful lot of money though, so maybe that is food for thought. So it would be nice to go a season without losing anybody, but yeah, this season we've taken quite a hit. So let's jump into season 3. Let's see if we can get to the final of the Champions League again and bring that home, as well as retain the Premiership. So our first signing from Real Madrid, £31 million bargain. 26-year-old Rodrigo comes to the club as our right wing. He can play on the left side as well, same as Garnacho, so both of them can switch over. And we have other players like Diallo and Mount that can play in them positions as well, which is going to prove very, very handy. And I think he's probably one of the missing puzzles in this side, especially as we are bringing in a very, very lucrative side now that is capable of winning things. We spend, however, double that, £70 million for Tonali to play in the defensive role in midfield. De Ligt can do a job for us there, but it's also handy to have a backup, as well as being a backup or first teamer for the back 4 as well. So that's going to be handy. But Tonali is probably more recognised in midfield, so that's why we went for him. He's probably the better ones that we could actually pick who wanted to come to the club, actually. And finally, he took £95 million to pry Baldy from Barcelona, as well as £155,000 a week wage as well. We could afford it. Why not go for the better players? And 23-year-old Baldy definitely can do the job for us. He is going to be our first choice, but we're going to lock him in for this second half of the season, as well as Rodrigo in his position and Tonali as well, just to make sure that they play. Not that they wouldn't when the best 11 is picked, but I just want to make sure that they are. And I think these guys could be the missing pieces of a puzzle that we're actually building to dominate Europe as well as the Premiership. And speaking of the Premiership, we are lying top of the table. We have got a massive 8-point lead over Liverpool with a game in hand as well, which is absolutely fantastic. We're in the knockout round of the Champions League. We are playing Chelsea. We've got Stoke already in the next round of the FA Cup, but we did fail in the Carabao Cup, so it's going to be the first season we haven't got to the final. Man City beating us in that one. So let's jump into the rest of the season and see if we can bring home the Champions League finally, especially with these group of lads now. So after the transfer window in January, at the end of January in fact, we had a comfortable 2-0 victory over Spurs at home. We followed that up with victories over Southampton, a demolition of Wolves, and a fine 2-0 victory again at home to Arsenal, with Højlund getting the second goal in a 2-0 victory. And Diamonde scored in the 99th minute to finalise a fantastic 3-1 victory over Manchester City. And then to round the season off, we thrashed Newcastle, a goal fest at Forest, and again a demolition of Brighton. So all in all, another title comes our way quite convincingly, this time with only 3 losses to Chelsea, twice in fact, Man City. Gyökeres and Højlund, our 2 strikers, leading the way in the stats. We dominate the average ratings. Gyökeres gets most player of the match awards, with Højlund right behind him, and Costa with most clean sheets. We dominate. That is the main thing, and that's what we wanted to do, but more importantly, we want to win trophies at the same time. And we claimed the FA Cup as well, 3-2 against Chelsea after they've beaten us twice this season, with Diallo scoring in the 117th minute to bring the trophy home. We don't unfortunately get very far in the Carabao Cup, as far as the quarterfinals, losing 4-3 to our rivals City. And it was City that beat us again in a competition, this time the Champions League, in the round of 16, again 4-3. We finished in the 11th position in the league phase, beating Red Star 6-0. A demolition of Nice. We beat Celtic and we beat AC Milan. Drawing with Juventus. Onana might have played in that one, I don't know. Stuttgart and Barcelona, and losing to Real Madrid. So that's put us into the playoff round, which we demolished Chelsea. Wow, we couldn't beat him in the league games, but we could beat him in the cup competitions. 7-3 overall. To go on the win was Juventus. Did Onana play in that game? Did he get a Champions League? Wow, he did as well. And he played a 7.4. Unbelievable how things can change for a player when they move away. Wow. So overall, disappointing with the Champions League. That's the main one we want to win. But we do win the FA Cup and the Charity Shield. That's the domestic treble of sorts. But I think, again, we've got to prioritise the Champions League, because the league is probably a little bit too easy for us at the moment. But that's not surprising. But it all depends if we can hang on to our players. Now, speaking of the players, let's have a look. 51-7 for Gyökeres. And he is wanted as well. AC Milan. I mean, he has a £92 million value, so we'll have to see what happens. Højlund as well looks absolutely phenomenal. 42-15. We could go to one up front and bring in a cam. Garnacho, he's not wanted. Højlund is wanted as well. Bayern, oh my God, he is worth 134 million. So yeah, hopefully they do come in with that sort of price tag, but yeah, if they come in for him, we have to accept. Garnacho, again, looking brilliant. 23-22. 21-12 for Diallo. He's picked up a bit. 13-13 for Rodrigo. Bit disappointed, I'm not going to lie, but I'm sure he can do better next season. Tonali, 7-10. That's not too bad. Mount, 6-11. Baldy, oh, 1-2. That's not great, is it? I expected a little bit more than that. Might have to look at his role maybe. Nobody else with assists, but there is a lot of assists in the team as well, so it looks really good. And Costa 60-60 with 25 clean sheets. I don't think we need to change the goalkeeper. Konasechi, did he get any games? He didn't, but he's a good backup to have. Be interested to see how many of these players are wanted. Delo is though. Juventus and Lazio. And Harry Maguire, Saudi Arabia. Another summer and another transfer fest. We lost a lot of good players here. Ugarte's gone to Chelsea for up to £91 million. Højlund, what a surprise package he's turned out to be. Gone to Bayern Munich for up to 120. We also lose Konasechi, our backup goalkeeper, for 21.5 million, and Diallo as well. He's gone to Bayern. So Bayern have picked up a couple of our players now. 32 million for Diallo. So 235 million this side of the window. At the end of last season, we lost Mount. It's gone to PSG of all teams for up to 86 million. So our squad, as you can see, is vastly diminished, but we still got some great players, including Garnacho, Diamonde, even Gyökeres. He's still wanted though, but they didn't come in for him. He's worth up to £105 million now though. And Vitek, thankfully we did promote him from the youth team, so we have got a backup goalkeeper. So if we pick our best 11 now, we're still sticking with the same formation. It's working wonders at the moment. And that's what we have. De Ligt comes back into midfield. And I mean, it's not a bad side. It could be better, but Baldy comes in now. It's a side that I probably would pick as well. I'm very tempted to put one in Cam, Rodrigo on the right, but Rodrigo's moved into the up front position with Anthony on the right hand side now. It's probably our weakest link together with Martinez in the team now, so that could be easily improved, and obviously we need to have more players in the other positions, but we will have plenty of money come January. The season, despite them departures, have gone pretty well. We did lose to Spurs in the Community Shield 2-0, but we did beat Bristol City, Villa, Spurs in the league 4-3 and Chelsea 3-1, and we smashed Man City in the Carabao Cup 5-1. Anthony even getting on the score sheet there. We have drawn Inter Milan, Arsenal, Celtic, Copenhagen, AC Milan, Benfica, Nice and Lazio in the Champions League. We are currently lying top of the table, 4 for 4, which is always a great position to be in. We are predicted around about 9th in the Champions League. We're hoping to go further. And yeah, none of the other draws have been made as yet. So are we predicted now to finish top of the table? No, but we are getting closer, 5-1, even though we have won it for the past couple of seasons. Garnacho and Rodrigo and Coyote are the only ones in the Dream 11 now. Seems to be changing all the time. So let's jump into season 4 and we'll see you at the January window. We also had a bumper transfer window in which we brought loads of players. We spent £405 million. First one from River Plate, Franco Pedraza, another striker. He looks phenomenal, 20 years old and at £10 million. Wow, 7 goals for us in 6 games, I think, or 4 and 3 in the league. That's crazy stats, some of them are. Wow. From Ajax for £106 million, a centre-back. We needed somebody to partner Diamonde, and he looks absolutely incredible as well. He can play at left back as well, which is always handy, but quite dear, 140 grand a week, which I think is quite cheap. We made a little bit of a blobby on this one. Kefren Thuram, he comes in as a defensive midfielder, £120 million, and he can't play the rest of this season because he can't play more than 2 clubs in a season. So yeah, he'll be there next season. We do spend £36 million on a backup goalkeeper, Mads Harmansen. Only conceded 43 and 51 from Atalanta, so, and he's done pretty well everywhere he's been, so he's back at the Premiership. With the mess up from Kefren, we spent £83 million on Gertrude, a defensive midfielder. Again, another superb addition to the squad, and definitely can fight it out between the 4 midfielders we have got, including De Ligt as well, who can apparently play there as well. From River Plate, £9 million. We bring in a cam player, but more or less backup winger really. Franco Mostanuano. He looks another decent player. 20 years old, worth up to £53 million now. He's played 1 game for us already, and some of them stats. I think that's where we're going to be going for the windows in future. We can pick up cheap players. The values go up incredibly. And we still Kang In Lee, £41 million from West Ham. Again, same sort of thing. A backup winger to have. In fact, he can play anywhere along the front line or second half of the pitch. So if we do go into 1 cam player and 1 forward, we at least got some players that can come into that position. With the best 11 in, this is what it looks like now. Looks pretty decent actually. Same players apart from Hato comes in, Gertrude comes in, Pedraza comes in as well. So I'm really happy with that. But we have got decent players in backup now as well. We are lying in second position, some at 9 points behind the leaders Arsenal currently. We were top, we dropped off, and we're back on it now. We've got our new signings. I think we've had an unbeaten January, which I'm really pleased with. If we have a quick look, includes a 10-0 thrashing of Bristol City in the FA Cup 3rd round. I'm sure Bristol City absolutely hate playing us. So once we got our players in, the results have been fantastic. So I'm hoping we can get further in the Champions League, of which we are 5th in the table, going through to the round of 16. And we've been drawn Wolves or Blackburn in the next round at the FA Cup. But we did get knocked out by Chelsea in the quarterfinals of the Carabao. Very disappointing on penalties in the end. So let's go and finish off the season and see what happens. After the transfer window in January sees us push for that top spot with Coyote netting the first goal of 3 in a 3-1 victory. And soon after we beat Newcastle 4-0 at home with Tonali netting the final goal in the 4-0 win as well. The goals kept flowing, including a 5-0 victory over Sheffield United. But we did succumb to a 2-0 defeat at home to Arsenal, who are also chasing the title at this stage. Pedraza nets the winner against Manchester City at home in the 85th minute in a good 3-2 victory, the ball being fed into him into the box. And then straight after we had a damaging defeat against Liverpool 3-2, but it was away from home and we were 2-0 up in this game as well. Towards the end got a little bit desperate, but West Ham were no match for ourselves in a 7-2 demolition at the end of the season. And unfortunately that did not win us the league. So close, 11 points in it in the end. Quite convincing for Arsenal, they were just relentless this season. We did win 28 games though, which is pretty good, but we lost so many games. Arsenal twice. We lost to Man City, lost to Liverpool, lost to West Ham, even though we battered them at the end of the season, which is really disappointing. Newcastle there, and as you saw, we battered them at home as well. So were they all away from home? There's only one game at home, and that was the Arsenal game. But Arsenal were just far too dominant. Who did they lose to? Chelsea, Liverpool, Everton, Chelsea again. Gyökeres, 30 goals, Haaland 34. He's just putting them away as well, isn't he? Osman right behind them. Pedraza, best player in the league. That is a superb signing, and we only got him in the January. Costa way behind on clean sheets, unfortunately. However, we did score 109 goals. I think we've scored 100 goals every season. I'm sure we have. 111 there, 102 there. We failed in the first season, I think it was, and 92 goals, but not far off though. The FA Cup sees us beat Newcastle once again, 3-0 to help us lift that trophy for the second time in a row. The Champions League, we did claw our way back into the round of 16, as you saw. 8 wins, 5 draws, 1 loss. We did beat Lazio, Nice, only 3-0 this time. Benfica, Copenhagen and Arsenal. We beat Arsenal in the Champions League. Can't beat them in the league at all. Drew with Celtic and Inter Milan, which is bizarre. And lost to AC Milan. Quite convincing as well. Only scoring 22 goals, which seems very light. Straight to the round of 16 where we played Lazio and absolutely hammered them 6-3 thanks to a second leg 6-0 victory. The quarterfinals, we beat Chelsea on penalties. So once again, we fare better in the cup competitions than most. The semi-finals, we smashed Real Madrid 6-2. I think we beat them in both legs as well, actually. 3-1 in each leg. Wow. And we get to play PSG in the final, who brushed aside Dortmund 3-1. And we win the Champions League finally. Come on, the boys. Coyote again scoring. He's doing pretty well on that right-hand side, isn't he? But PSG probably favourites going into this game, but we do score a lot of goals and our forward line is just superb. Rodrigo scoring that one, or was it Pedraza? He's turned into such a good buy, he has. We'll have a look at his stats in a second. And then Rodrigo finishing things off. But a fine 3-0 victory to give us that elusive Champions League trophy. We can forgive the lads for not winning the league. They won the Champions League, but it would have been nice to win the league as well, to do the treble. The historic treble we got in 99, do that again. But unfortunately this time it wasn't to be. But I'm happy with that. Trophies galore again. We've already won the league twice in 4 seasons we've been doing it. And we've won the FA Cup twice. I think we won the Carabao twice maybe. And we've finally got our hands on the European trophy going into the final season to see if we can pull off quadruple maybe this time, or 5 trophies. We shall see. But looking into the squad, 51-9 for Gyökeres, who's injured at the moment. 2 weeks, but he is wanted again still. AC, Juventus and Saudi Arabia. We'll see if they come in for him. 78 million he's worth up to. Now, seems to have dropped in value. I don't know how that's possible. 30-8 for Pedraza. Bearing in mind he came in the January. I mean, that is an awful lot of games. Plus a goal a game. Plus 8 assists. Rodrigo, 24 and 22. 22 and 20 for Garnacho. The pair of them are amazing. Chido Obi, weighed in with 14 and 10. I mean, I'm really happy with that as well. Nice to see his value go up too. Kang-in Lee, 7 and 6, not bad. 19 assists for Coyote, but he did get 5 goals along the way. 18 assists for Tonali, which is amazing. Baldy, a little bit better than last season. 10 assists. Maybe we have to change his role a little bit as well, I think. But our goalkeeper, Costa, 64 and 61. 26 clean sheets this time. So I'm sure that is a record as well. A couple of players not playing, including Thuram, who will be with us next season now. Out of curiosity, how much have we got to spend going forward? January at the moment, £84.5 million. And that is without any transfers that we have to accept in the summer window. So let's move past that window quickly and see what the damage is. Right then, some more transfers go out the door, and I think we may have escaped ever so slightly really here. The only issue we have now is a second choice goalkeeper, because Mads Harmonsen has gone to Spurs, our rivals of recent seasons, up to £65 million, which is quite hefty to be fair. Newcastle have picked up Mainu for up to £58 million. Martinez has gone to Real Madrid for 51, and we lose Chido Obi as well. He's gone to Sporting for 37 million. So now the side looks like this. We're going to lock in Gertruda, because if we pick our best 11, De Ligt comes into that position. I mean, the side looks phenomenal, really, to be fair. In this sort of formation, looks great. And because we haven't lost some major players, I think we ought to do pretty well. So De Ligt we're going to take out, because he can obviously go in between the defence and defensive midfield positions anyway. So it'll be good to have as a backup at least. Unless Gertrude gets injured, I guess. I don't know. So far, so good. We've only lost one game. We lost to Everton 1-0 in the league. But as you'll notice, we have got a couple more trophies. The Community Shield, we win on penalties against Arsenal. Gyökeres scoring in the 58th minute to equalise. And the UEFA Super Cup, we beat Leverkusen 1-0. Rodrigo goal after 44, and Tonali got sent off in the 87th, but by then the game was thankfully won. The league, we smashed Fulham 9-1. Kang-in Lee netting 4 goals. I mean, that is just fantastic. We did beat Wolves 1-0. Arsenal we win 2-1. And Northampton we win in the third round of the Carabao 3-0. So they haven't been convincing apart from the Fulham one. But we have beaten Arsenal twice, and at least once in the league anyway. The Champions League, we've got PSG, Inter Milan, Midtjylland, Nice, Barcelona, Liverpool, Stuttgart and Ajax. We are currently lying in 4th position. Not a position we're kind of used to, but we're only a point off the leaders. We are predicted around about 8th in the Champions League, confirmation of the UEFA and the Charity Shield. And finally, we are favourites to win the league this season. The 5th and final season, we have finally made it to the top with Rodrigo, Costa, Coyote in the Dream 11. Garnacho is one of the players to watch as well. So let's delve into the first half of this season to the January window. And let's see if we can set ourselves up for a multiple of trophies. Again, we've had another fruitful January window. To be honest, there wasn't that many signings really we could make. We were doing so well. It's just basically just needed to shore up our side from the players we lost. So from San Lorenzo, £11.5 million, we bring in Juan Pablo Canosa, a forward, 20 years old, and oh my god, look at them stats. He's played a game for us already. 23 goals in 45 for Lorenzo. I think he's just broken into the first team as well. Flipping heck, he is solid. We're going to have to delve into more of the South American sides. Some of these players are just insane. He's not as good as Pedraza. Maybe Gyökeres, maybe worried about his position, but wow, 20 years old and he does that. That's amazing. Because we lost our backup goalkeeper, we're going to bring in Seaman from Stuttgart, £37 million, I think it was. And we have got Vitek as well, but Costa's obviously our number 1. We just needed number 2. From Real Madrid, £89 million. Backup DM, and to be perfectly honest, it's only because I like the name, Nathan Decat. That is amazing. I love the name. 20 years old, got loads of potential. He probably will break into the team eventually if we end up losing some of the bigger players in that position. But yeah, 43 games for Real Madrid, 89 million we spent. He's gone up in value now. Again, another decent backup. And like I say, 20 years old, be here for quite a while if nobody picks him up. We'll make money on him, that's for sure. We spent 71 million from Parma for Florent Massan, a left winger. There was a lot of interest for Garnacho, especially from PSG. They came in with 3 bids, I think the last one being over £200 million. I had to decline because we're not accepting in the January window. We do accept all in the summer, but January, not the time. More than likely, Garnacho will go next summer. So we bring in a backup just in case, and we spend a little bit of money on him. But he looks amazing as well. Lots of potential. 19 years old, this guy. But for a backup for the time being, I think he'll be pretty good for us. And Garnacho as well, just to keep him on his toes. So with all them players been brought in, if we do a best 11, I don't think any of them will feature. Guacares, Pedraza, Rodrigo, Garnacho, Gertruda, Tonali, Baldi, Hater, Diamonde. Yeah, it's our first team. It looks solid. Guacares now doesn't look like a player of his former self. Although he has scored 23 goals in 35, but Pedraza 27 in 36. So a pair of them are going at it. And also Garnacho and Rodrigo are scoring goals as well as everybody else. It's going throughout the team. In fact, De Ligt scored 7. Amazing. However, the league, we are in danger of not winning it. That's for sure. We are currently 9 points behind Man City, 1 behind Arsenal. We've got 1 foot in the final of the Carabao. We're 3-0 up against Liverpool, while Man City are 3-0 up against Chelsea. And we are currently second in the table of the Champions League, on our way to the round of 16. So let's go and simulate our final half of the season and this rebuild and see if we can have some more additional trophies to the 2 we've already won. So we started to chase the league down the second half of the season, and we had a cracking 2-0 victory over Arsenal away from home, followed by a 5-0 thrashing of Brighton, and we even beat Chelsea 5-1 to keep up the pressure at the top. But a very damaging result away at Manchester City, who are currently the league leaders. But we bounced back against Everton. Liverpool by the same scoreline. 75th minute winner by Pedraza in the 1-0 victory over Newcastle. But we end the season on a high with the demolition of West Ham and absolutely take Brentford to the cleaners 8-0. But unfortunately, it was not enough. We finished in second spot, 6 points off the leaders Man City in the end. Very, very disappointing. We scored lots of goals, massive goal difference. And more annoyingly, we lost 2 games against Manchester City, with the last one you saw, the 3-2 loss, being very, very damaging. A 6-pointer, that one in the end. Pedraza and Guacares leading goal scorers behind Haaland, who's just amassed 35 goals. He was even the best player in the league, ahead of Rodrigo and Garnacho. Costa 16 clean sheets behind Raya. Rodrigo 7 man of the matches behind Haaland and Odegaard even. But we do get the most assists through Rodrigo and Garnacho, 25 and 15 respectively. Goal wise, 115 goals, 29 against. I mean, it's far superior, and this formation has worked wonders. But that could be down to the players that we did manage to pick up in the end. But we do pick up our 3rd trophy of the season with a cracking 2-1 victory over Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. Rodrigo netting the first one after 14 minutes. He also gets on the end of the second one as well, running through with a lovely through ball, and it's another great finish though. But a 91st minute consolation goal from Chelsea just ruined it a little bit. But Carabao Cup, 3rd trophy of the season. Chelsea got their own back on us though with a 6-5 victory in the FA Cup final. I don't think there's been a final like it. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. So we were 2-0 up in this game, then we brought back level, back and forth, then we went ahead. In fact, I think we were 5-3 up, which makes it even worse. Where did it all go wrong? Can't see any players being sent off. That's crazy. The Champions League, we did finish in second spot on our way to the round of 16 with 6 wins. Ajax, Stuttgart, we thrashed them. Liverpool 1-0. Took Barcelona to the cleaners. Beat Midtjylland and Inter Milan. Drew with PSG and lost to Nice. In recent seasons, we've absolutely pummeled them. But we only conceded 6 goals, 24 goals for second highest behind Arsenal. But it was Real Madrid. We were 8 for 8 in that. So the round of 16 sees go past Leverkusen 6-0. We beat Arsenal 6-3 thanks to a 4-0 second leg victory. The semi-finals, we absolutely pummeled AC Milan 6-0. Wow. On our way to the final to play Chelsea yet again in another final. after they beat Man City 3-2. And we pick up our 4th trophy of the season and our 2nd Champions League on the bounce, which is absolutely phenomenal. This time we go 2-0 up, I think, and we don't waste it this time at all. 6-5 in the FA Cup was just insane, especially being that far ahead, but we don't let it happen this time round, although Chelsea did get one back. But we do go 3-1 ahead, just to give us a little bit of comfort with half an hour to go before Chelsea take another one back and just make it a little bit anxious towards the end of the game. But I think well deserved from the lads. And there we have it. 1, 2, 3, 4 trophies, runners up in the FA Cup and runners up in the league as well. So unfortunate. We almost had all 6 trophies. Looking at the squad then this season, 46-12 for Pedraza. He's absolutely insane. 21 years old. He's worth 99 million now though. 38 goals, 24 and 36, 46 and 61 for us. He's done remarkably well, hasn't he? Just getting better and better. And we only bought him for 10 million as well. I mean, that's mad. Gyökeres, 40 and 5, 26 and 22 for Garnacho. He's 24 now, worth up to 155. But PSG, he's not wanted now though, so maybe PSG were put off in the January. But I'm sure they'll come back for him. Rodrigo, 22 and 32. I mean, just between them 4 alone, it's just mad. Kang In Lee, 10 and 9 for De Ligt, 10 assists for Baldy, which isn't bad. 13 for Tonali even. 13 for Coyote. Yeah, all the assists have been happening all up top the pitch, haven't they? Apart from Gyökeres, he doesn't like to assist anybody, does he? And Costa only conceded 49 in 62, which is probably his best season as well. And he had 33 clean sheets. Vitek did play a game ahead of Seaman. Wow. Unless that was beginning of the season before we brought him in the January maybe. But other than that, I mean, that's insane. And just in case anybody does want to know, this is a formation I used. I don't think I tweaked it at all. Maybe the left back was a full back and I changed it to a complete wing back due to the play. I think that was the only change we made, possibly. We are attacking on this formation in possession. If you want to pause the screen, and in transition, there you go. Out of possession. Once again, everything's high. So this file will be available for you. I'll leave the link down in the description, but you will have £225 million to spend in the summer window, unless you want to carry it on like the way I've done it, accept every transfer and then buy in the January. And you will be debt free, almost. £34 million left. I mean, they could just pay that off though, to be honest. So as always, let's have a look at the records. Did we break any in these record breaking seasons? 93 points is the most we've had in a season, with most league wins as well, 29. Fewest league draws, 3, which isn't too bad. And most league goals scored in the season, 115. It's amazing. Highest gate receipts, 1.88 against Inter Milan. Gyökeres, 51 goals in a season, which is crazy. And he didn't even get the most league goals by a player in the season as well. How mad's that? Rodrigo, highest average rating for a player, 7.54. Fastest goal, 11 seconds by Gyökeres against Chelsea. Thank you very much. Most assists by a player in the season, Rodrigo, 32. 33 clean sheets by Costa. 12 player of match awards by Gyökeres, which again is amazing in itself. Any sequences? No, that's surprising. And the highest transfer fee we paid was for Thuram, and I don't think he actually played that much. Let's have a quick look. Did he? He has played 21 games for us. It seems a lot of waste of money in the end. I think signing him when he couldn't play for the season, it was very, very damaging. He did play 21 games in the last season though, which isn't too bad, I guess. And the highest fee received was for Højlund. 106 million to Bayern Munich. So that's where we're going to leave it. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And once again, if you'd like to see another video like this one, particular where we sell everybody and then buy in the January, please let me know who you would like to see next. And until the next time, thank you very much for watching. Thank you.